When we first start homeschooling, it can be really tempting to just kind of go with our default understanding of what education is and just try to recreate the conventional system at home. That's called doing school at home. Unfortunately, for a lot of kids, they resent that because home is supposed to be their safe space, and all of a sudden you're turning it into the place that they used to have to go to that they really didn't like. And so all of a sudden, all of these ideas about homeschool being fun, they kind of disappear because all they think is, oh, great, it's going to be just like regular school. I just get to do it in my pajamas. So today I wanted to talk about 3 things that you can do to make sure that you're not falling into that school at home default. And then at the end of this video, there's going to be a link to a video that will help you figure out a specific approach that's going to work with your values and your priorities and with your family's, your energy and your bent. And that system that you can follow, that method, will give you a framework so that you don't have to try to figure out on your own how to make this homeschool thing work. It kind of gives you a framework and a roadmap to follow. So let's talk about the 3 things you can do to resist falling into the trap of schooling at home. So the first thing is to remember that you are the boss of your homeschool. It can be very easy to let the curriculum take over and tell you what to do. Quite often, curriculum will come with some kind of a schedule, and a lot of first-time homeschooling families will just grab that schedule for all of the curriculum they have and just start following it. Oh, okay, for day 1, we do this, so let's go do this. And then day 2 says to do this, except my kid didn't so much get day 1, and so it's already asking us to move on. Are we supposed to do that? And so they'll move on even if their kid's not ready. And then all of a sudden, the curriculum is the one that's telling them what to do. You are the one who gets to decide when you move on, what parts of the curriculum you do, and how you're actually going to use that curriculum. You don't have to use it the way that it came in the box. You don't have to use every single bit just because it's there. I know it can be hard to not use everything when you're like, I paid for all of this, right? Think of it this way though. You paid for options, and you may further on in the year, you may come back and start using some of these things. But just because you have them does not mean that you need to use them. So step 1 is to make sure that you are always the boss of your homeschool, that you're not letting the curriculum tell you what to do. The second thing is to look for ways to integrate what you're learning with what's going on in your child's life. Your homeschool should not conform to your curriculum. Your curriculum should conform to what's going on in your child's life. So when you're looking at maybe something that your child is showing a lot of interest in, look for ways that you can mold what they're learning around that interest. Leverage the things that they're excited about instead of making it look like learning is always compartmentalized away from real life. It's just this thing that we have to do, and once we have it done, then we can go do real life, okay? That's never true outside of that very conventional approach to education, right? Once we go out into the real world as adults, do we sit and learn about things that are completely irrelevant to what's going on in our life or to what we're interested in? No, we don't learn stuff unless we want to or we need to, right? And it should be the same in your homeschool. So let's say you're going along with curriculum and then your child starts to show an interest in weather, okay? Well, you were going to be doing, biology this year for science, and it doesn't mean that you have to scrap all of that science that you had planned on doing, but maybe you take a little hiatus and you focus on the weather stuff for a while. Maybe it's only going to be a week that your kid's interested in learning about it. Maybe you're just going to spend a little bit of time researching with him some of the things that he finds interesting, or, maybe watching some storm chasing videos, or, whatever it is. And maybe that's all that your child really needs. And then they're perfectly happy going back to, the biology or whatever it was that you were studying. Or maybe you'll realize, gosh, my kid really has a thing for this and he's really getting it. Let's put this away. Maybe we'll come back to this another time, right? Just because you're not using the curriculum this year doesn't mean you're never going to use it. Take advantage of the times that your child is excited about learning something and focus on that. Be a facilitator to help them learn about the things that most excite them. Don't try to fit a square peg of this curriculum into a round hole of your child's interests, right? Look for things that match so that real life and what they're learning come together, because that's really where the magic happens. And then the third thing that you need to remember so that you don't slide into that school at home mentality is to focus on your child, not on schedules and not on to-do lists. I know that particularly those of you who are type A's, like I am, we tend to get very caught up in this idea of we need to finish all of this curriculum by the end of the year. And in order to do that, it means that we need to do a lesson every single day in math. And it means that we need to get through at least a chapter every week in history. And we get all caught up in this idea of there being a deadline, like May 15th or May 31st or whatever day it is that you kind of have in your head as being the last day of school for this year. You kind of see that as like it's a finish line. And if you don't have everything done by the time you get there, you have somehow failed, or you don't get to finish school. Like, oh, no, you still have 3 weeks of work left. You keep going until it's finished, right? It's almost like this punishment that we give ourselves. I didn't finish it in time, and so I don't get to start summer yet. I have to finish all of the work first. No, absolutely not. That flies in the face of the idea of you being the boss of your homeschool, right? There is no law in any state that says you have to finish all of the curriculum that you bought this year, okay? Throw that idea out the window. In fact, I have an entire series of videos here on this channel, 5 reasons why you don't have to finish your curriculum by the end of the year. If that is something that really stresses you out, make sure you go watch that. I'll put a link to that playlist here in the description of this video. But do not let yourself get so caught up in finishing things by a particular time and keeping up with some particular schedule that you lose sight of your child. Okay? We get to move at the pace of our children's learning. That is one of the unique and awesome things about homeschooling. And if we instead give up that freedom just so that we can check all of these boxes and finish by the end of the year, then what we're saying is we don't actually care about learning. We just care about checking off boxes. And I'm pretty sure that's not how you feel about your homeschool. And I'm sure there's no parent that would say that would think that they actually believe that, right? But what happens is that we just kind of slide into that mentality. And our homeschool looks that way, even if it's not truly how we feel, because we get so tied in to what that little piece of paper is telling us to do. So if you're one of these people who really struggles with this idea of, oh, I've got to finish it all, please make sure you go watch those videos and then get all of the schedules. Maybe like if you've got 5 different pieces of curriculum and they each came with a schedule, put them all together and throw them away. Okay? I'm not kidding. Get them out of your house so that you are not even tempted to look at what they suggest that you do on day 47 of your homeschool. Because it does not matter what the curriculum publisher thought you should be doing on November 6th. You need to be doing whatever your child is ready to do. Your child's pace, your child's interest, your child's development, that is what drives your homeschool. So get rid of the schedules, get rid of this idea that you have to finish everything by the end of the year. And that is going to go, that's going to take you nice and far away from that whole school at home mentality. So I hope that this has been encouraging to you, that you can see now how important it is to not let yourself fall into that school at home mentality. Don't forget to check out those 5 reasons why you do not have to finish your curriculum. That playlist will be here in the description of the video. And coming up on the screen, you should pretty soon see a link to our video that's all about the different methodologies that you can use as a framework and a roadmap for your homeschool. I recommend that you go check out that video because it's going to help you so much, not just with the idea of schedules and the flow of your day. It helps you in a lot of different ways, and that video will talk all about those. So have a great day, and I will talk to you again soon. And remember, you can homeschool, and good schooling can help. Take care, guys. Bye.